Ayo! This is the SpongeDudes back with an episode again. This time it is a Halloween special. You can't see it, but none of us are dressed up except for JoJo Bobo Jackson himself. This is Babbage. And
This
is Tim Tom Timmy Jim Jam, but spooky.
very nice. This is Clater Tot passing it off to Noah.
Oh, this is Noah passing it off to Jojo Bobo.
I have a name to.
Ah!
the scariest part of all is you don't know it. This week we decided to watch the scariest episode in season 1. And which is going to be SpongeBob Scaredy Pants, or I think the episode's just called Scaredy Pants. And then the second one is I Was a Teenage Gary.
Strange episode.
We're gonna start off with Scaredy Pants here, which starts off it's Halloween night, and we're told that, and we go on from there.
Yes.
Apparently SpongeBob is really easy to scare, and so everyone takes advantage of him because of this.
Yeah, fucking bitch.
Jeez. Yeah, just the three, just boo spelled out, just terrifies them.
So Mr. Krabs and Squidward take advantage of this and tell him a scary story.
Don't forget, Mr. Krabs carries out a literal fire.
Yeah,
That's my first note. It just has a bonfire.
Screaming out, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, he says hot, 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 hot as he brings it out.
But I want to hear more about this terrifying tale.
I don't remember it verbatim. He just talks about the Flying Dutchman, how he comes
I'll
and
tell
steals
it.
your soul.
So, Mr. Krabs begins the story by telling SpongeBob that the Flying Dutchman steals your soul by representing your soul as a pickle. So, Mr. Krabs has confirmed that our souls are pickles.
He does hold out like the burger and say this is a ship, and then he says, and this is your soul, a pickle, and then Squidward jumps up behind SpongeBob and says, I've come for your pickle,
In a very monotone way. It's just fucking,
Classic line.
Yeah, classic. And also, I know we kind of talk about memes every week, but I think this one is, I would probably say, Baby J's and mine favorite from the show.
It's very
Perhaps.
special. He holds out. It's Mr. Krabs holding out the bag, and it says it's the I don't remember what it says on the bag itself, but it's replaced in the meme by link. And so when you want to link to something devious, that's what you send. So then SpongeBob goes home and gets scared on the way home by like 3 different people, and everyone knows him as SpongeBob Scaredy Pants. And then Patrick scares him by wearing fake glasses and a fake nose and a mustache.
Patrick looks horrifying with that nose, by the way. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he doesn't have a nose. Everything you know about
Well, he
Patrick
doesn't
is
have
no
one.
nose. So that's what's horrifying about
yeah,
it.
I had a question. Has the menu always said galley grub? Or does it
Huh?
change every episode?
I believe
like the menu
so.
in the back
He
of
does
the...
say Galley Grub.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Your
in the
nose.
Krusty Krab.
Yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that. I was like, I wonder if it changes.
That's a good
I don't have
observation.
an answer for you.
Oh yeah, and how did he get the fucking pumpkin inside of his house? The pumpkin's massive as shit,
Yeah,
and his
like,
door is like so fucking tiny. Does he like...
He maybe grew in there, but like, is that like
I
SpongeBob
thought it
is
was
small?
established that SpongeBob is God in this universe. Continue.
Yeah, obviously.
He snaps his fingers and it'll be.
He's a very skilled artiste at the least. Pumpkin with his own hands.
It's true.
Yeah, he does a great job at carving that thing.
So is it a normal sized pumpkin, but it's a big
Yeah.
sized pumpkin for them?
That's
since
what I
they're
was
fish?
thinking. Because like he lives in a pineapple, so is the pineapple normal size and the pumpkin's normal size? But-
So does that mean that the little tiki thing that Squidward has is like one of the ones you get from like PetSmart?
yeah, I think that's what it's saying.
Someone just dropped it.
Huh.
So then SpongeBob decides he wants to dress up and scare people, so he dresses as a ghost, puts a sheet over himself,
And then
and that's his costume.
That's
don't
always
forget
the
the clogs.
funniest costume
Yeah.
for me. Oh my God.
Patrick says it's not quite ready yet, and he says here, and then he goes into the closet and cuts down a tree and steps back out and hands SpongeBob a pair of clogs and says, "Step into these, Hans."
Oh,
What?
now that's scary.
I don't
This-
understand how that made it complete.
This reminds me of a time back when I was a youngin' back in Dubai. We had a Halloween dress up day at school, and one of the kids, he came in, his costume was literally just a bed sheet over him. And I just remember him coming in crying because the costume was so shit. I just remember laughing.
What's your costume, sir?
I think
Yeah,
I
what's
was
your-
dressed as a cowboy.
That's not very scary.
Hey. That was alright.
If you were Native American and you saw a cowboy riding across the hills, it was probably pretty scary.
You got me there. Especially if you're Native American Johnny Depp in that movie that you did as a Native American.
There was a genocide, huh?
Oh,
Jackson, are your fangs glow in the dark?
No, they're just way brighter than my actual teeth, so it's like the contrast makes them look glow in the dark.
Gotcha.
okay.
So
Trick or
then,
treaters.
so then they go out to try and scare some kids, and then they make fun of them for looking like a mattress. They call him the haunted mattress
Holy shit.
because he's shaped like a square. So he's like, "This isn't working." So he's like, he figures out like that I need to be round. But he says like Patrick makes a little hand puppet of a ghost, puts it on his hand, and then he says, "Patrick, what's the difference between me and that little hand puppet?" And Patrick spends a minute going, "Oh, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me. I got this. Don't tell me." Looking back and forth, and I laughed pretty hard at that scene.
Oh yeah, and in my notes I said, "Is Patrick on crack or?"
He's on
He's just-
candy.
He's just a
Halloween.
very special boy.
And then they figure out it needs to be round, and Squidward or Patrick shaves him down, and then they put on the sheet and they go out and they try and scare people.
He uses Patrick uses one of the sponges as like a fucking face wipe.
Yeah, that's what literally what I was just about to say. I find that hilarious.
So then they go to the Krusty Krab, which has a party going on, and
And Mr. Krabs starts dying, and his daughter just sits there and watches him and walks off. And he's just
he
like,
does the apples.
he has a fucking great
Which that's
face.
another meme. Him holding his throat with his eyes all like bulging out.
Did you notice
Another
that the
meme.
screen gets all distorted and shit?
And then they drop SpongeBob down from the roof and say that he's the Flying Dutchman's ghost. And they try and scare everyone. They talk to Sandy for a second. She's a fish in a fishbowl, and I wrote down Sandy does appropriation. And they are not amused at it at all.
Well, I also wrote a note because, like, when Squidward says he doesn't get it, Sandy starts to walk away, and then she looks back at Squidward with like the most contempt in her eyes, and just hates Squidward.
Sandy racist.
Yeah,
Like the ones who don't know it, like the ones who are racist, but they don't actually mean to be, but they are.
I don't remember Sandy and Squidward really like having that many like moments together. Like I can't.
Well, we did
think-
skip ahead. I don't even know if they've met before this point.
Mm.
oh, just in general, like I never really remember them ever interacting in any episode from before this or after.
Yeah, none like comes to mind like directly.
The only one that comes to mind is like the indoor episode where it's like, or no, not the indoor episode. The one where he lives as a jellyfish and he's like, I give him a week, I give him a day.
Yeah.
That's it.
So then the Flying Dutchman actually does show up and he yells at SpongeBob for like
Appropriation.
being bad at representing him.
Appropriating him.
And I wrote down Captain Knuckles because if anyone has watched Flapjack, that's the same
Yes,
voice
dude.
actor. And so
Is
I
this-
think he just got typecast as being a pirate after this.
Arr.
Is this the first appearance of the Flying Dutchman?
It is the first appearance of the Flying Dutchman.
Okay, that's fine.
Eating the Flying Dutchman.
It's a good character.
And then he yells at him, says he's gonna take their souls, and then he takes off SpongeBob's like costume, and you see that SpongeBob is only left to his brain, and I assume what is his spine and his mouth and his eyes, and everyone runs out screaming.
And what I don't get is like Patrick did this to him. Why didn't he get scared originally? Did he just not understand that it was
Because
a
they said
brain?
he said this is my brain. He said I thought it was your pink hat or something like before that. Oh, this is my brain, and that's scary.
I think it's established Patrick maybe not the smartest of the bunch.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say he's probably not the smartest of the bunch.
Yeah, I think you said what he's trying to say. Yeah. And I really don't remember this episode as a child. Like I don't remember seeing it.
I want to
Really?
say
Oh, I do.
this only airs in October. Like
Yeah,
I don't
that was
think they ever air it any other time.
That was my fun fact. Is this only airs during October? So.
Ah.
I stepped on your toes, my bad.
That's okay. No, you did it. It's all right. There it is. We got our fun fact out of the way.
Or one fun fact. I do want to point out, like when he takes off, his sheet and his eyes are so red, veiny. That made me very uncomfortable as a child.
Yes,
it would
dude.
it would literally haunt me. Those veiny
Oh.
eyes.
The whole presentation's pretty fucking scary. It's good.
Yeah, no, it messed me up sometimes. Like honestly, that and the hash and slasher, I would legitimately get scared as a
That's
child.
trash ringing.
Wrestling.
So
There
there
is
it
one
is.
more roast. I don't know that we touched. The Flying Dope Man. I just want to say that one got me pretty good.
What is it?
When they realize it's SpongeBob hanging from the ceiling, you hear a random like trick or treater go, "Ah, more like the Flying Dope Man."
Pretty good.
Yeah. So 3 roast. More like the haunted mattress, the haunted. What
Sleeping
is it?
bag.
So yeah,
Sleeping
we
bag.
passed over the haunted sleeping bag. Yeah, whenever he after he becomes circular, he goes out to the street and tries to scare some kids, and that's what they say to him.
I mean, pretty mid insult. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm appropriating the youngsters' language now. But yeah,
So that was 13A, Scaredy Pants. And is there anything else to add, fellas?
I thought it was pretty fun.
What are we rating it out of SpongeBob's?
Well, we usually say that for the end, right? After like the whole
Oh
episode.
yeah, I
as a whole.
guess yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we can do that. Next one is I was a teenage.
Gary.
I was a teenage Gary. That's 13B. And this is one where SpongeBob and Patrick want to go to a jellyfishing convention, and they leave Gary in the care of Squidward. Squidward does a terrible job of taking care of Gary for 3 days, and then
He almost kills him.
SpongeBob comes back, and then they have to go to the doctor, and then doctor gives him the serum to help him, and Squidward accidentally stabs SpongeBob with it, and then the last part of the episode then happens. So we'll get there. So I just wanted to start with where they're sitting inside. And then they find out about the jellyfishing convention, and Squidward just comes over, and SpongeBob says, "Hey, Squidward, can you take care of Gary?" And he says, "What's it, Gary?" He says, "This is Gary," and he holds up Gary, and he looks like when old ladies are like, "I love this dog," and it's like a 40-year-old, like it's already been dead twice, like type of dog where the skin's falling off, and it's fought cancer, like it's fought cancer like 3 times, and he's just like, "Meow," and that's how I felt.
Before
And I
that,
love this dog.
I noticed what prompted Squidward to come over in the first place was because apparently SpongeBob, he keeps leaving his underwear on Squidward's lawn because Squidward will be like, "Can you stop leaving your underwear on my lawn?" And I was, what does he? What happens? What is
Frat jock,
SpongeBob
man.
doing?
It just further confirms the frat jock SpongeBob, man. He's
Oh.
partying
He
too
is a
hard.
frat jock, dude.
He
Well,
is,
yeah,
he's
he's
100%
walking
frat jock.
over from Patrick's house, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
Passes out, doesn't make it, passes out in the yard.
So yeah, I mean, And again, why is he leaving them? Who knows? Maybe trying to
Does
get
he
Squidward
take
in.
them off because they're like drenched in some sort of fluid, and he has to?
I mean, I had a friend growing up that stripped down naked pretty often when they got drunk. Ran into barbed wire fences one time when he was naked and sprinting through the field. So,
Man.
it's not unseen.
I guess that's in that completely hypothetical situation you just described. Couldn't imagine anyone actually doing any of that. And also, I'd like to see Ukulele Bottom. Sounds like a fun place to go.
Right?
Where the
How many other bottoms are there?
Probably infinite. It seems.
There's one right here.
Get on Grinder. You know what I'm saying?
Ayo.
Ayo.
But yeah, also I just want to say I took a note. Gary is disgusting. I just want to touch on what you said. So yeah.
Yeah, just the noise he makes and the way he looks is like I don't want to touch that thing.
It's just spinning around SpongeBob while they're conversating.
So then Squidward's like no, and then they're like, it's a 3-day weekend. Squidward gets really excited about that, and they play this funny reverse sound, like they just reversed a videotape of him like going back to SpongeBob and saying, I'll take care of him for 3 days if you're gone for 3 days.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, that's a lot of food.
Yeah.
For Gary.
Yeah, so then, SpongeBob gives him the rundown of how to take care of him. And then they get really excited, and Patrick just like, they're like, all right, let's go. And Patrick is so excited. The door's open beside him, and he runs out of the pineapple and leaves a star shape. And then it cuts to the bus, and there's a star shape like broken into the bus as well.
Yeah, I love that so much. And also, like while he's leaving, he's like confirming with SpongeBob Squidward I'm talking about, and he's like, "I'm going to take such good care of him." I just want to know, do you guys remember what he calls him? Like, he doesn't call him Gary.
He says Frank or something, right?
Yeah, Frank or Fred, one of those two.
And he goes, no, it's Gary.
Yeah, and then SpongeBob corrects him. He's like, Gary. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Frock. Shit. And then I like the way Squidward spends his free time after that.
He just literally in the sun, like sunbathing for 3 days straight.
So they can't be that deep into the water then.
I don't know, man. He got some nice color. I'm very jealous of him. I mean, not his skin cancer that he undoubtedly has now.
Yeah, I was about to say, because he looked pretty bad.
Bait.
Squid gets sun cancer or skin cancer?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Probably
I
not.
think they regenerate pretty fast, so maybe not. I don't know. So then we see Gary that's inside and hasn't been fed in 3 days straight because Squidward apparently just sat outside for 3 days straight. And I just wrote down actually dying Gary versus the one that we saw earlier, and he just was like debilitated.
I think my favorite shot of Gary in this state is probably when he runs in and sees him. He has all the cobwebs on him.
his eye falls over real slow. He's trying to. He pours all the food out, shoveling it at him, but it's just hitting Gary.
His mouth is kind of opening and closing a hair, just barely trying to get it in.
So then they call a doctor, and then he comes and gives them the serum, and then Squidward tries to help out because he feels a little guilty. I don't remember what it is, but it's
plasma.
Snail plasma. That's it.
Oh no!
And SpongeBob is doing SpongeBob stuff, and then moves Gary around, and then Squidward accidentally stabs him in the nose with the serum, and Gary gets dropped, and he goes over and gets some water, and he's great. And so it's he doesn't even need the serum, and then SpongeBob is worried about the serum, the plasma being injected into him, and Squidward's like, "Don't worry about it."
Gaslighting his ass. I mean, I will say SpongeBob's usually a menace. In this episode, Squidward's just the biggest asshole ever.
Yeah, it doesn't care about this dude's animal that he has to take care of.
Yeah, agree.
Feed him. Yeah.
And I do want to make one comment. Like before they call the vet and his awesome snail doctor vehicle, whatever it's called. I just want to touch on how like Gary comes into the room dragging his corpse in, essentially. I love that part.
Can't forget how the doctor's ambulance is literally shaped like a snail.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh
That
no no no
doctor's a-
no!
Oh no.
That's another first appearance from that doctor being like a reoccurring character. So
Oh, that's fun.
that's pretty good too.
Mrs. Puff appears in the Scaredy Pants episode too.
Yeah, but we watched this out of order, so I don't know if we've already seen a boating episode.
I imagine that wouldn't make any sense if we
Yeah, just
saw.
for her to show up because this is 13. We've skipped ahead for the
Oh.
Halloween bit.
I want to touch on one more thing. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
Squidward. He wears pants when he's sunbathing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
he
then
puts
he
on swim
put-
trunks.
Yeah, but why?
Well,
He
you don't
never
wanna-
wears pants.
You don't want to burn your bits.
He doesn't have bits. He never wears pants.
That doesn't mean he doesn't have bits. It just means he doesn't want to burn them.
What do you mean? He has. He's naked.
That's why he can't be a fry cook.
Boy, is he gonna leak all over the food?
No, his bits will just touch the stove. He doesn't want to wear pants to work.
That's why he's always got it tucked. If you-
Mm.
You got me there, Jack. He does have a tucked.
Like
my answer.
like a Ken doll down there.
I was born a woman.
And so this leads us to that night of SpongeBob slowly turning into just like morphing into something. And so I wrote down David Cronenberg directed this and gave it a question mark.
Thank you. All I could think of is that name. It's this body horror we're being forced to watch as a
He just
child.
he loses, or his eyes like pop out of his head and turn into snail eyes, and then he loses his arms, and then his feet fall off, and he goes, "Well, at least I don't have to buy shoes now."
I was left-handed anyways.
And then I don't remember what happens, but then he ends up getting like Squidward stabbed. Oh, he goes in and freaks Squidward out, like trying to get help, but all he can do is meow. And
Meow.
Squidward ends up getting stabbed with the snail plasma as well.
I'd like to talk
And
about Squidward's bedtime routine.
Go ahead.
He has a pillow for his clarinet named Clary, I believe. Good name. Gets the point across. But if I was to ask you guys, if you slept with your clarinet, would you use which end would you put on the pillow?
Definitely the
The reed end?
where the reed and the mouthpiece are.
Yeah,
Okay.
I put the read in as well. That's what he
Okay.
did, and that makes sense to me.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
I mean,
Noah's the one clarinet player here.
No, that was Tommy.
Oh, Tommy,
I suck
yeah.
What?
at
Oh,
How
this-
dare
Is
you.
that not true? I didn't
No,
know
I
you also
suck.
played them.
I was actually pretty good at back in my day.
You remember the few times
I
we were at the man
apologize.
cave and Tommy would find the clarinet and it's like, ooh.
Oh, what
I'd
that
always have a
reed,
clarinet
dude.
and then
Ugh.
just play scales.
Fucking read.
I was never in band.
So I played the trumpet, so I was in the brass,
I slapped the
Trumpet.
drums.
And so after Squidward gets stabbed, he turns into a snail as well. And they're doing the classic cat on a fence yelling at night.
Meow, meow, meow,
And then Patrick wakes up and throws a boot at him, and it hits Squidward in the face.
I want to point out, he finally gets
Some good
hit
aim.
by the boot. Yeah, great aim, Patrick. But Squidward finally is enjoying himself. Like he's scatting, he's meowing like with the rest of the crew, and then he gets hit.
Hey, but he continues. He falls.
He finishes it out. But
And,
that's the resolution.
Yeah, but I wrote down there's no resolution. So next episode, I expect when we make it to 14A, they're still snails. That's what I want.
Well, I want some more progression because SpongeBob doesn't have a shell. His pants are essentially his shell, but Squidward has a shell. I'd like to see SpongeBob go on a quest to get his shell.
This actually is interesting because all of their shell designs and their, I guess, personalities after that point are kind of based off of who they were before they became a snail, which makes me think is Gary actually a snail, or was Gary originally a cat that had some snail plasma,
Shit.
and that's where the meows come from, the
There you go.
cat-like
Alright.
activities, the whole thing.
Hmm.
And over time, his skin has morphed to be more snail-like, but in reality,
Yeah, do you become even more
Write that down,
snail-like
write that
as
down.
time goes on?
So there we are with 13B. Is there anything else to add? What was you guys' favorite quotes
Ooh,
or favorite moment?
favorite moment.
If I'm
I
gonna
know.
be honest, I'm
I
just gonna
really
go with
liked when Gary hisses at Squidward and he just looks disgusting. I can't go wrong with that.
just my favorite meme of the episode, just Link. I
Oh,
love it. That's my favorite moment.
my favorite part's when Mr. Krabs is joking in its fucking face.
I like the quote "Step into these Hans," but also also in the snail episode, I think it's SpongeBob. Like Squidward like touches one of his eyes,
Oh
and it like
yeah,
sucks back
he like
down
sucks back in like a
into his
puckering
body and
butthole.
then like back out. Oh, it's
Yeah.
awful. I
We-
hated it.
We watched that on a watch party together, and all of our reactions were mint when that happened. Just, yeah, like that. What was your favorite moment, Jack?
probably I've come for your pickle.
It's really good, and is listening to it out of context makes it awful.
I've come
Yes.
for your pickle.
So what do we actually? Let me give you the IMDb score real quick. IMDb gives these two an 8.3 out of 10. Where do we rank them at?
I enjoyed this episode overall. I'd give it 4 sponges out of 5.
Highest ranking so far.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'll go ahead and
How
throw my
about,
hat. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. Noah.
no, you first, my bad.
No, you first. I insist.
Well, we broke out a turn now, and it's my fault. So, I would give it a 4 out of 5 sponges. It's a good episode. Classic episode.
I'm gonna give it. I'm not doing the sponge route. I'm just gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Mm.
It's literally the same ranking as you guys, so we're all on the same page so far.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to agree.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
I'm actually gonna give it a little bit less. I didn't like super love it, so it's gonna get 7. There's an ad for Spider-Man watches on the IMDb app, so it's 7 Spider-Man watches out of 10.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I think 7 or 8's fair. I think this is pretty solid. I feel like I was getting into the Halloween mood. Thoroughly enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and it's not one I've seen a lot.
I like the body horror on the Gary episode. I really don't think I've seen that one. I might have seen the Halloween one, but I cannot remember this Gary one. So that was incredible to watch an original SpongeBob episode I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's
It's
fun.
weird watching it like as an adult, because as a kid you're just like, I mean, I'm still laughing like that about it, but
Yeah,
it's
no.
interesting now.
SpongeBob going meow because he's saying ow.
I love when he starts to walk. Also, no, my favorite part is, Gary, are you getting faster?
That's a great moment. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, thank you, Jackson, for being the only one to dress up and show up. All of us other ones just showed up as our normal loser selves. So, so I'll talk to you guys later.
As George Lopez said, I got this.
I got this.